This is Chicken Ball. Come at us, bro.
Welcome back to the Chicken Ball Pod. I'm your host, Andrew, this week. You might be wondering, Andrew, you normally wear glasses. Why aren't you wearing glasses this week? And the reason is I wear glasses when I read, but I haven't prepared any notes for this podcast. And I feel pretty safe that my colleagues haven't either. Mort, can you confirm?
I didn't even hear your question, man. I was drinking my beer. What'd you ask?
I just saying I didn't prepare any notes or an agenda for this podcast. I assume you didn't either.
I was kidding. Yeah, that was actually my response. Yeah, no, fuck no. No agenda. It was a busy day today. So this I think will be the worst podcast we've ever recorded, which
Definitely.
I mean, that's a pretty large milestone to achieve, you know?
Last week was pretty bad with Chuck.
That was horrible. Chuck is useless. He brought like no energy whatsoever. Just kind of
one-word answers, man. That's what a podcast needs, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the emotion and the passion that he brought as well. You could see it on his face.
I think he's regretting it.
But Scott, I'll start with you here. International breaks, not a lot going on unless you actually want to watch the international games, which are meaningless to most of us. But are you actually excited about Spurs getting back on the field, and are you more excited than maybe you have been in past international breaks?
Definitely. I mean, not only because of the form we took into the break, but because we have a certain someone that certain people on this pod didn't actually think we would sign, who's probably going to play when we get back from that international break. So, no, I mean, of course, I got to throw some shade at my boys, but all jokes aside, man, I'm fucking stoked for Spurs coming back for many, many, many reasons, right?
Name one of them. This is many, many, many. This is what you do. Just fucking say stuff.
I gotta think of one that's funny too, right?
Hey, look, this is what I mean. There's like a tag sticking out of his
Lamella,
hat.
All right, dude, I'll give you one. Lamella's gonna bag 4 goals against West Ham, maybe snag an assist too.
Okay,
there we go. That's one reason why I'm ready to come
do you
back.
think he's gonna start?
Obviously.
Jesus.
What do you mean? He's the best player on our fucking team. Yeah, he's gonna start.
I hate these recordings so much. I get so angry because I have to deal with your stupid ass saying stupid ass shit for the next stupid fucking 30 minutes to be on here.
Here's my 11, dude. Joe Hart, Eric Dyer, Musa Sissoko, Eric Lamella. We'll play with 4 guys. It's fine.
If we're gonna take super hot takes, and why don't we just start Kane, Bale, Son, what's his name, Vinicius. Let's have 4 up front.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Totally.
Maybe I guess you have to have Højbjerg. You got to have obviously Tanguy. Gio is probably not even training, but let's throw him out there anyways. And then
I would just bring Troy Parrott back from loans. And
we'll play 3 at the back, but without the wing backs. Just 3 at the back, and everybody else pushes forward.
Totally, man. Just a 3-0-7. That's a sick formation, to be completely honest.
It's like the reverse Barcelona.
Yeah, the 3 in the back are going to be like Lucas, Bergwijn, and Lamella. Those are going to be.
It's not a bad shout. I mean, you guys have seen how high with Mort jumps. I mean, he's a better hitter than what Sam is.
He'll be good on set pieces.
True. Yeah. And at the risk of everyone shutting down the recording who's listening, let's just say that Lamella is going to start as the anchor, like the middle center back.
No, but
he's capable of doing it.
Lamella's going to start against West Ham.
All jokes aside, man. Probably not, but I think that he will play a role, and he'll come on as a sub, and he'll do a good job when he comes on. And I think that's the role.
No, Scotty, man. I'm a Lamella fanboy, man. I have been, forever. And I mean, I think if you look back, he has made the match day squad in every single match that we've played this season, except for one, and he's gotten minutes in every single match except for the one he didn't make the match day squad. So yeah, man, like you're right. He's a pivotal cog. I think Jose has found his role, and I think he's doing it well. I mean, I have never expected Lamella to be a 15-goal, 10-assist guy, but I have expected him to come in, like put in a shift, create chances, be chippy, win the ball high, put us in situations where we can score goals, and that's exactly what he's been doing this season. And I think I mean, like everybody's got a fucking job in the squad, right? He's doing his job. He's doing his job well. I'm very happy with him.
Yeah, well said, man. And I think ultimately he has a manager who can get the side of the game that's not necessarily on field or on paper. Of course, it's on field, but you get my point. He has a manager who wants to tap into that as opposed to one who maybe kind of frowns upon the dark arts of the game, right? So he's always been valuable, but I really do believe even more so now. Again, God, we don't need to just go on about Lamella, but he'll play a role, but I do not think he will start now.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that, I think you kind of hit something on the head is, he's finally got a manager, a leader who knows how to properly use him. So when you look at the output on the pitch, you always have to go and give credit to the manager. So by the same virtue, when you have a podcast that's absolute shit, you have to look at the host. You have to wonder if, the reason this is so shit is because the host is never prepared, no fucking notes, and he can't even see, any fucking glasses on. So
totally, man. I mean,
those are all valid points. I mean, you often look around the talent surrounding you, which is minimal at best.
And honestly, like, here's the thing. I've never prepared for anything in my life. I wake up in the morning and I have no clue what's going to happen or what's coming. I just embrace it, man. But our host, that guy's got to be prepared. And there's a specific reason why I do not host podcasts. I will not do it. I have no interest in doing it. I need to give hot takes and I need to come up with what I'm going to say immediately before I say it.
I love it.
Yeah,
we get to work, Andrew. What do you got?
That's the essence of this show, right? I mean, other shows before, like we knew we weren't coming at this with any great organization, tactics, or analytics. In fact, like the only guy that ever brought analytics, we kicked off the show.
We did. Yeah,
Totally,
he's doing like some like K-pop fucking podcast now or something. I don't know what the fuck like Bennett's doing, but he's out there somewhere not doing anything meaningful.
Yeah.
Like,
if you're watching,
man. I love you, Bennett.
yeah,
But do you guys actually think, does Bale start? I mean, like we've seen obviously some great promotions from the social media team with him in training. I mean, like he obviously looked decent taking those shots. He wasn't moving very quick. He looks like he's getting ready to play. But does he actually start on Sunday?
No, of course not. He's not going to fucking start. But I think he'll make an appearance, obviously. But he's not going to start. I think he starts on Thursday, though, Andrew. Right? So I think he's going to start in Europe. I think, unless he picks up a knock or something, or if he doesn't feel right. But no, man, there's no way in hell he starts against West Ham. But I fully expect him to get on the field. I think you're going to see Lucas start up there.
Okay.
But I definitely see him coming off the bench, which I think is great. And what really annoys me is there will be no fans there to just have that raucous, welcome when he comes on. It's going to be incredible. He's home, and he can still do a job, right? And, I know he's not running in those video clips that Tottenham have posted, but that doesn't mean he still can't run. It's just we're going to.
For sure.
So yeah.
Dude, I will say he's not going to have fans, but one thing that we are going to see is the entire media circus surrounding this dude on that. Every Sky, whatever, blah, 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 BT, I don't know what the shit is that they watch over there, but whatever it is, it's all going to be centered around Bale is going to play against West Ham today. Tottenham's going to be in the spotlight. When's the last time we were on that level because of somebody we signed? Like, I don't know, maybe ever? Van der Vaart?
Yeah, I was going to say Van der Vaart's probably the last one I can remember. Of course, you've got a few folks before that, I think like Robbie Keane was a big one too. And
totally.
Bergkamp's probably a big one, but I would say Van der Vaart's the last time we had a signing that elicited that kind of response. I think the Bale 7, I think there was a lot of there were a lot of eyes on us after the Bale 7 simply because we had spent over 100 million pounds for the first time in our history. So I think there was some media scrutiny there, or rather media coverage there, to your point, Scotty. But yeah, I think Van der Vaart was probably the last one where like nobody gave a shit about who we signed. I didn't care about who we signed half the time because we weren't signing anyone.
Yeah, dude. I think as Spurs fans, we have learned to cut anything around transfers like out of our emotions, right? Because it's like, fuck, man, we may sign no one for 18 months. We may drop a Van der Vaart on a deadline day. We may sign a Soldado who the world thinks, is going to rock the bells and ends up dropping a dud, Paulinho, blah, blah, blah. So if you're a Spurs fan, just get the fucking transfer water out of your mind. We saw something special this year, but I want to see, some consistency there before I start getting jacked up.
Yeah. Like you've been hurt, Scotty. I can tell you've been hurt.
Hey, man, I'm a fucking Spurs fan, so.
just generally
Spursy, Dr. Tottenham, get that bullshit out of here. But we're all gonna say that we've put a guard up at some point because we support Tottenham. So.
Now with the international break, obviously there's back and forth. Southgate and Mourinho over playing Harry Kane when he apparently picked up like a small, whether it was a strain or a knock or something like that. As far as He was playing today. I mean, it was through the first half. I don't really pay attention to the international break that much besides the Spurs players, but Dyer picked up an injury. He's probably out for Sunday, so that's irritating. Kane, I'm assuming, is probably going to be fine in play, but like, and again, like, this is a bigger conversation, but like, not to mention how stupid these games are without COVID. Now you have these guys flying around the world, going through sitting on planes, interacting with how many more dozens, if not hundreds of people, to catch COVID. Like I had heard a rumor that that somebody on the France team had it. So like, I don't know, Scott, if that's what you were alluding to with Joe Hart starting or anything like that, but like these games are so pointless. I mean, like obviously people are excited about the Euros and the World Cup, but like, does today's game mean anything? Like I don't pay enough attention to know, but like players are coming back hurt, tired, sick. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a power grab, man. They'll do anything for TV, anything for media. I mean, the fucking Nations League, like, come on. And these used to be friendlies where young players got a chance to, it's like get their call up and you get to wear their country colors, But yeah, this is all trash, man. I mean, and I think especially in this modern day and time, I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo has tested positive for COVID, right? So, I mean, when that kind of shit happens, look at what you're doing to the sport. Look at what you're doing to the product. I mean, if he doesn't play for Juve, well, like Juve got an automatic 3-0 win over Napoli because the Napoli players had the COVID. So, I mean, why would you not try to be more safe with some of these decisions, right? And I think I'm really worried to see what the hell happens when all of our players come back. Are they going to be quarantined? I mean, obviously West Ham have nobody good who plays for the whole fucking team, so it doesn't matter to them the international break. They all just went home and rested. We've got guys all over the world, right? And I'm genuinely nervous when they have to do their testing over the next couple of days after they return to see if they're going to get Sunday. I think we might get, if it's not us, we will see in the Premier League players who generally start not starting this weekend because of some bullshit.
No doubt, man.
With Mane, the week before.
Yeah.
No, it's it might end up being all jokes aside, I was kind of joking around when I mentioned Hart, but you make a good point, Andrew. We may see a hodgepodge of an 11 against West Ham because of COVID. And, we know there's some trusty, reliable players who have been at Hotspur this entire time that we can count on if it gets to that. But it's just asinine that these guys were flown all over the world to play football. I know Mort already said it, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but just, it aligns with the fucking mess that we've seen in the United States and the United Kingdom and all across the world and, various places over the past 6, 8, 9 months, whatever it's been. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's your point. Like, Scott, we might see a hodgepodge of players. I mean, not just us, any team coming back. Obviously, you look at the bigger teams that do have those players, going around the world. Obviously, United has a bunch. I mean, they're not really a big team anymore, but because Eric Lamela basically ended them. But looking at some of the other clubs like City, like Liverpool, they are sending, obviously, like Spurs. Half the England used to be, from Spurs. So it's frustrating. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous how they wouldn't cancel something like that. Like you can kind of contain it the way they've been doing it in the Premier League to a certain extent. But I mean, it's obviously the world that we live in now.
Yeah. I mean, I think that easy decisions are there to be made, but it takes difficult people and difficult. Hard thing for people to make those easy decisions, right? But it's common sense is not prevailing, which is very unfortunate. But I mean, again, I think that I'm still excited about the West Ham match. I'm still pretty positive. I think until I hear negative news, I'm not going to dwell on this too much, right? So I haven't heard anything yet. It's Wednesday. We still got 4 days left. So I think unless I hear something, I'm still pretty stoked for this. I think that, though, this is a marker, man. We have to set a marker, right? It's funny. We just beat United 6-1, and I still don't believe that was our marker. I think our marker will be this West Ham match when we have a fully integrated squad. And by fully integrated, I mean Gareth Bale. So I think, you cannot deny the weight that he brings to the conversation. But, yeah, I think that if we come out of this match and we win 3-0, 4-1, something like that, I think that's going to be amazing. If we win like 1-0, 2-1, or like 3-2, I think we're gonna be up for some bitter conversation. I think we're gonna get judged, right? We have to come out and we have to be dominant. So I think it does put a little bit of added pressure, but I think the squad, this manager is ready for it.
Now, West Ham, it's one of those teams that They have a huge rivalry with Spurs. I mean, to me, they basically don't exist outside of match day. So I'm not really clear on where the rivalry comes from. You know,
Right.
it's funny when you see West Ham fans calling Tottenham bottlers, like, you have to get there to bottle it, right? Like,
Right.
you literally couldn't even dream of qualifying for the Champions League, much less making the final. But I mean, looking at this club, just having a quick look to see what their results were. So they had, they've been up and down. I mean, they beat Leicester 3-0. They beat Wolves 4-0. I mean, those
Right.
teams are, had a little bit of they've had some distractions with some of their players being sold, but I mean, I don't really know what to think of this team. Like, I look at their lineup, like, there's some okay players. I mean, I know what's his name up front, Antonio.
Yeah.
And again, like, I would imagine, I think Sanchez actually played a full 90 for Colombia this week, and if not yesterday. So, would he have started? I don't know. I mean, like, it's just the kind of game where Antonio just bullies that guy, right? Like, he's just big, he's powerful, he's fast enough, he's got a decent shot on him. So, I mean, it's already kind of a foregone conclusion that we're not going to keep a clean sheet. But we can still 4 or 5 goals. I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts on West Ham?
Well, no, I mean, I think that's it, right? I mean, if you look, like, if you take away their whatever the like League Cup loss, I mean, they've won 7-0 in their last 2 matches, and then you're like, fine, well, who were they against? Well, they were against teams that were in our competitive set last year. Wolves and Leicester were teams we were heavily competing with. As a matter of fact, as the year progressed on, especially the last 9 weeks after we came back from COVID, after the shutdown, that was our primary competition. They just mauled them. They just destroyed them. We couldn't do that. So obviously circumstances are different. And I do still think West Ham suck. They're like meaningless to your point. But I think it'll be important to be aware. Again, I just think we have a manager who knows this, right? Like, he has seen the results. He knows how they scored 4 against Wolves. He knows how they scored 3 against Leicester. He knows how they kept a clean sheet. He's going to be ready. I do not expect West Ham to come out and shock us. I don't expect that. For me, we're going to win. I just want to know how much it's going to be. Right? Is it going to be a win, or is it going to be a marker where we say, we're back, we're in the conversation, don't take us lightly anymore? And I think that's what you do by destroying them. So I still, whatever, fuck the results or nothing. We're obviously going to win. I just don't know by how much. That's my big question.
Scott, we were just saying just a moment ago how West Ham really isn't even on the map. I actually thought they were going to get relegated last year. I was disappointed they didn't. They've had a few results this year. I mean, they lost to Arsenal, which wasn't great. But then they had those big wins against Leicester and Wolves. And so I just had a quick look at the stats and the scores. Jared Bowen is a guy I know Spurs looked at. I mean, it's easy to say they were linked to, like, who wasn't any team linked to, but he's been causing some problems for sure, both on the goals and assist front. So I like to Mort's point. I don't think that Mourinho is going to be surprised, while everybody else might have been off. At the international break. That dude was obviously studying for this game in particular. And even though United are terrible, as we showed, they're still better than West Ham. You would still expect a fairly decent result here.
Yeah, I mean, I think to Mort's point, whatever happens, starting with West Ham and, in the next 7 to 10 days after that, could very well impact our season. And I think Jose obviously understands that, as you guys have both, alluded to again. So I don't anticipate that we won't be 100% up for it. I do think West Ham, they have talent. I think they, it's kind of baffling how bad they've been with some of the talent they have. And so we should expect them to be firing on all cylinders. We know they're in form. And West Ham, when I say this, I don't take away anything from their ability or talent, but they just irritate me. Yeah, I mean, whatever. But they just bother me because they think there's just such intense rivalry where, like, I look at the schedule and I see West Ham and it doesn't invoke like the emotions that a Chelsea or an Arsenal match does. Now, somebody like Shuban will tell me differently, and I think that's, he's based in London, and I think there's a certain degree that we don't get because we're not there. But for me, West Ham is just a pain in the ass match, and so I think they're dangerous though because it's not a pain in the ass match to them, right? It's like their entire season. So that's where I think they've caught us on the break. Now, to Mort's point, this is what I'm getting at. We now have a manager who will not let that be a problem. And again, not to take anything away from Pochettino, who I say every episode, it's almost at this point, I love that man, but we have a manager who will not slip up mentally, anymore. And that's what's going to make sure that we beat West Ham.
I take back everything I said. They still have Lanzini, so we're going to lose.
Does that guy actually still play at West Ham?
Yeah, apparently he's still there. I have to Google it.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it is.
Lanzini. Wasn't he supposed to be really good?
Dude, he fucking like loves scoring against us for whatever reason.
So does Antonio, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. You know, I fully expect both those guys to start on Sunday, right? Because there's no
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things that'll be up for me. It was actually West Ham. That was Mourinho's first match where we went up, I think 3-0, or maybe it was 2-0 in the first half, and they almost clawed it back. Like it got to 3-2. And I had to score to tie it, that it was offside. But yeah, I mean, like I think for the most part that has come out of Spurs' game. You haven't seen so much unraveling towards the end. Like we still always concede a goal, and typically it's early. But you know, we don't typically see teams piling up goals towards the end. Like typically we finish stronger than when we start.
Right. Which I think is the right thing to do, right? Like if you're gonna start strong or end strong, you're better off ending strong. So
I mean, Bennett or Ryan would typically be the person I'd ask this to, because they would watch enough of the matches to actually answer a technical question. But if Mourinho, his plan was to press the wing backs at United because they that their wingers don't track back, what do you think the strategy is against West Ham? Like what is their general weakness, or what is their main weakness, do you think? Is it just their West Ham?
I mean, no, this is exactly why we have Bennett and Ryan to answer these types of questions. Neither Scott or I know that. I don't watch West Ham. I have no idea how they play. I don't even know where they are in the table. Quite honestly, but here's the thing though, right? Like, does that matter? Right. So, like when you have the depth of players we have, the squad depth we have, when you have the manager we have, I really don't care who we're playing. Going into United, you've theoretically been worried, right? We weren't. We've lost one match all season, just one all season. So we've played a lot of matches, right? So again, I don't really worry about how they're going to set up. I think Ryan and Bennett would obviously do a better job of answering this question, but I think ultimately, I really don't give a shit. Like at this point, I mean, until somebody comes out and wallops us, it doesn't matter.
I think like to add to that, I look at it like this. I can sit here and give all these ideas as to how we should set up tactically, and like I don't know, they pay Mourinho $50 million a year to do that shit. So I'm just gonna get on a podcast, get drunk, say shit that's very controversial, and I really don't know beyond that. To that note, I will say again that if we just play a 1-0-9, we will beat West Ham, and so that's what I expect.
See, unfortunately for all of us, I did prepare for this, and I think that I figured out that Mourinho has identified West Ham's key weakness, and that's football. They lack skill, they lack discipline, they lack strength. What they have is, they're emotionally up for it when they play us, but they're not good, right? Like they're just not. Like one of my buddies is a West Ham fan, and he's a good guy. Like he doesn't pretend that there's something that they're not. He knows they're garbage, but his and he's a fan. I kind of look at like West Ham and Arsenal comparatively, because you've got West Ham, who is a shit club with great fans. Call it what you will. They win nothing. They still have a huge following, right?
Sure.
And Arsenal, who are, I wouldn't say a great club. They used to be great club and shit fans, right?
Yeah.
So, those two things kind of cancel each other out. I mean, either one of them would be terrible. But yeah,
very true, man. Very true.
Not much going for West Ham.
No,
man.
No.
Dude, we're the only club in London that's built on like legitimate fucking well-earned shit and just the best fans, man. We're the only club that has the best of both pieces of that. So
do you think we're the West Ham of podcasts? It's like really shitty.
Oh, dude, no. We are
worse.
No. I'm thinking about it like this. Like,
are we like the Fulham of podcasts?
No, I think we're kind of the Leeds, right? We're chippy. We bring something to the table. Like we can't defend, and we don't try to, but what we do is push forward, right? We attack.
Yeah, no, that's true.
We attack.
Yeah, like right or wrong.
I wonder we got to find a team that has massive locker room problems, like guys that just fucking go at each other's throats after matches in the locker room.
It's got to be somebody
fucking hit each other.
Yeah, right.
We might be the Lamella podcast, just fucking chippy, man, just ready to fight you at any moment, ready to do some really controversial shit. I was sitting here trying to figure out how we were the Lamella podcast.
I just figured it out, Scott. Here's your homework assignment for the next episode. Since we're on roughly 20 podcasts, you have to give each one of those podcasts, you have to assign a team and tell us what attributes of those 20 teams.
Right.
That's tough, man. That's tough. I'll do it.
I think we're probably the Clinton NG of. I'm really in that level. So
really exciting. Offer some pace, man. A little bit of flash. Not consistent. Definitely not trustworthy.
Yeah.
No. Low expectations, low performance.
Totally, man.
Yeah, totally. They don't charge a lot. I was looking at the schedule, so as we move past West Ham here, so 4 days later, it's a Europa League match against a whoever Lask is. Anybody know who Lask is? Is that Ludogorets?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I think so. So we got them 4 days after West Ham. Then we've got Burnley 4 days after that in the league. Then Antwerp 3 days after that. Then I think 3 days after that is Brighton and Hove. Then Ludogorets is actually the second league. Whoever Lask is, I don't know.
Lask is Austria.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. So on the 5th, we've got Ludogorets. On the 7th, we have West Brom. And then there's a 2-week break before we play City. But that is a hell of a schedule, right? Like, there's going to have to, I was thinking even before I forgot to ask the question, but we look at, say, that right side, for example. You've got Bale at the top of that. But then you've got guys like Mora, Lamela, and Bergwijn. So you got 4 guys who can play that position. Like, those guys are all going to get minutes, right? Like, in the next. So, all of those guys are going to play. And, do you really feel bad about any of them? Obviously, we've seen, Lucas has some frustrating moments. But, as he's kind of developed into just kind of a hard worker, gets all, attacks from the front, gets a lot of tackles, he still scores, right? He still scored in I think it was the Europa League match, right? He still obviously offers something. Same as the league, I think he's got a goal this year as well. So, those guys are all going to get massive goal. I guess where I'm kind of leading this, I'll start with you, Scott. So Vinicius, we don't know a lot about him. We talked about it on the last podcast. You and I aren't going to pretend to be experts, but that guy's going to probably have to get some runouts. Probably sooner than later.
I think so, and I'm actually really excited about him. When we signed him, I had no idea who he was, knew nothing about him. I literally only knew that he had led the league in goals and assists, which is obviously something that catches your attention, right? But we've also seen similar situations where we bring people in who led their league in goals and assists, and it didn't pan out. So I think at that point, that's all I knew, though. And did a little bit of research, saw some interviews. I know Alistair Gold wrote a really good piece on Vinicius 4 or 5 days ago, I think, that I read, and really opened my eyes to doing a little bit more exploration. But I think what I'm most excited about this guy is just what he brings mentally. And I think that's why Jose wanted him so badly, is he's just a fucking badass, dude. Mm-hmm. Adversity. Fuck that. Move that to the side. Dance around that. That's what he's done his entire career. And we saw Jose say, if you're someone who's scared to compete with Kane, then fuck yourself. I have no interest in you being on my team, And this guy clearly checks that box. And so I think with him, I have no idea, but I think he could actually surprise a lot of us. So we'll see. But yeah, he's going to get minutes, right? Because did Kane play all 90 today? Does anyone know? Did he come off?
I know he played 45. Did he play the second half?
He played
90 minutes.
The full 90.
It's fucking asinine, man. Jeez. So yeah, hopefully Kane's fine, and I'm sure he is. But I think there's something to be said for the fact that we're going to see this kid a lot quicker than people realize.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because obviously they're some of the players are still at Hotspur way. Son fortunately was there, which is great after he played for but had a minor hamstring tweak, and Dombele was left behind. I think Lamela was Lamela with our, I don't know. But there were a few.
Yeah, Lamela left behind, and Dombele.
Dombele was there. Yeah,
for sure. So some guys were going to need actually.
Yeah, all those players were left behind. So it's hard to know how he's done in training. It's not a full training session, but like you had said, Mort, you think Bale's going to start next week, presuming he doesn't have any kind of setback injury wise. Do you see next Thursday? Do you see Vinicius starting, or do you see Kane starting? Because again, we play 4 days again after that. If you had to pick, who do you think?
Well, shit, man, that's a great question. I don't think. Oof, that's a tough one, man. I don't know if you start Vinicius without him getting any minutes, right, in the previous match. Although I guess he's been playing this season, so yeah, I don't know. If gun to the head, I would say yeah. I think you see Vinicius, but then I think you see familiar faces, right? So you're gonna see Vinicius, Sonny, and Lucas. You wouldn't see Vinicius, Bale, and Bergwijn. I just think that's too much. I think that's too much rotation. Yeah. So I think there's a possibility about it, but we never really see how everything goes with all the players coming back in COVID, how things go on Sunday. But with all that said, I don't think you see him start unless there is familiarity in that front three.
Yeah, or an injury.
I agree.
Kind of
I also, I also think we may see moments where like Kane plays Premier League, Europa League, and then the next Premier League match he doesn't start, and Vinicius does. And I think we've seen Aguero concede minutes to guys like Gabriel Jesus. I honestly though, there are going to be Premier League matches where he maybe comes off of the bench strategically for whatever is coming because we have a lot of competition to balance. I think I would just like to see
not getting benched for a Premier League match. Okay, that's ridiculous.
I mean, let's say we have a pivotal Europa match on Thursday and a Premier League match on Sunday. Like we may see that. I'm sure there was people on City conversations who said Aguero will never get benched for Jesus in a Premier League match, right? And again, I could be comparing apples to oranges here. Who knows? But just trying to make a point. But I think honestly, if I'm Mourinho, or let's just say this, as a fan, I want to see at least one of Son, Kane, or Bale on the field at all times. And right now, I'd actually just say Son or Kane, because those are the only two guys who have proven that they can change a game by a stroke of their foot at this point.
You don't think Gareth Bale can change a game by the stroke of his fucking foot?
Absolutely, man.
Never
but
heard of him.
All I'm saying is I think he'll get a couple of appearances before I can say like he's in that group.
This is fuck. I cannot believe this has happened. This is a great transition into a Twitter question we have from Dakota J. Booth.
Dakota, my boy.
This is a really good question. This is a really good question.
Every time we have a question, I just assume it's one of you who's created another Twitter account.
It's Cat. He's got like 20.
No, this is actually someone you might actually take interest. Bale, Kane, or Sonny. One of them has to miss extended time. Who do you pick to sit? Like, who do you want to lose out of that front three? I think we know Scotty there. We just said Bale. Okay.
Cat just yelled from the other room. Cat's my wife to anyone listening. That's easy. It's Bale is what she yelled from the other room. So
yeah,
the guy who won two Champions
League too, only because we know Son and Kane are just lighting it up right now.
Dude, Sonny is world fucking class. Like
Bale is world fucking class. Sonny is.
They both are, and Son's been here for 5 years.
So what? Just because, listen, Messi has never been here. If he joins our squad, you're gonna fucking bench his ass because he hasn't been there? Come on.
He doesn't get past Jack Clark, and you know that.
I don't know, man. All I'm saying is like let's let Bale have a couple starts under his belt before we start saying this guy has to be on the field every single match. You know, like right now, Son and Kane can carry that weight, and Bale can carry it once he is like. I'm not asking him to prove himself. That dude does not need to do that. I'm saying like from their perspective, like if I'm Mourinho, to make sure that I don't drop the weight of the world on this guy, I'm like, all right, you can play a couple times before I say that our entire season rests on your shoulders, right? Yeah, he's right.
I am like flabbergasted. Like I mean, like how do you respond to this? Like
it's correct, so it's hard to challenge it.
The only reason I'm not losing my shit is because we have not seen Bale get consistent minutes at Real due to injury or whatever issue he had with Zidane. You go back to Bale when he was actually playing regularly, like the Champions League single-handedly. If that's the guy we're talking about and you're telling me that's the guy you're willing to lose long-term injury, I don't even know what to do with you. Like, go back to the fucking Cuban restaurant and drink some more because maybe that'll make you smarter. I don't fucking know, but fine. The only reason I'm giving a shred of hope is because we haven't seen him play consistently, and I think it's fair. It's fair for fans to be a little hesitant in putting all their chips in his basket. I think that's a fair notion to have, but that's not why we signed him. We didn't sign him to be Gareth Bale circa 2020. We signed him Gareth Bale circa 2017 when he was lighting the shit on fire, right? So that's what I'm not expecting him to score 20 goals, but I am expecting him to come in and win us points with the stroke of his magnificent, majestic foot.
Bicycle kicks over the head and Champions League finals.
You gotta reset.
Hey, I don't disagree with you. We have a guest appearance too that would like to join if anyone's
Yeah, Scott, I was gonna
Yeah,
say you have a very pretty intruder who's stealing from you.
Yeah.
I'm stealing from you. Okay, I'm only stealing from you because I get what Mort is saying, but
Nobody
it's
does.
more of a fact of which kind of Bale are we going to get? Are we going to get Bale or Beast Mode? There's two different types of Bale. And so considering that we've seen Bale the past couple of days, but the past couple of years we've seen Beast Mode, it's going to be difficult to judge, but we want to be able to set our expectations, as fans. Keep in mind, like, Bale is older, and the main thing he's brought so far to our club is that morale, the changing room. So that was my biggest factor is he going to come in and be able to change that changing room, make an impact in there first. And since he's been looking like he's been doing a good job at that, so on the pitch, we should not expect him to be extremely fast, faster than Sonny. I don't expect that of him. And so that's why I kind of see him as people will hate me for this, but I'm just being realistic. I've been a Tottenham fan for a while, and you kind of learn how to be realistic. But I see him as someone who comes in, makes an impact, yes, but he's not going to be able to play consistent games. He's not going to be able to play consistent matches. And this is what Jose Mourinho wants. He wants to be able to rotate his players as opposed to what the opponents are doing, because he plays game to game. He doesn't necessarily look at a player as, oh, this is going to be the player that's going to impact me for the entire season. He's more of a, okay, who is going to impact me at this particular game? So he trains, he coaches according to game to game instead of a whole season. And I feel like Bale will impact game to game, but he's not going to be a player that's going to be playing every single game.
So firstly, that's probably the smartest thing anybody's ever said on this pod. We're going to have to edit it. Nobody's going to believe it was actually our show.
Yeah, man, edit that shit out.
Too legit, man. We can't have that kind of shit on our podcast.
No, I know. That was far too intellectual.
And
secondly, I can't speak for Scott, but I'm all about the sure money. Whereas I think Mort will win the lottery and be like, no, I'm not taking a check for less money. I'm going to take it all in installments and get my full amount. But he's going to go boating later that day and hit a seal and die, right? He's willing to take.
Oh, God.
No.
It was more. I feel like the main reason why we bought Bale was to change the changing room, and I still stand by that. Is to just make it.
You look at Højbjerg, you look at Hart, you look at Bale. You brought in strong attitude. You brought in vocal leaders, and I don't disagree with you, Kat. I think that's true. I think that's very true. I expect Bale to be more than a super sub, right? I don't expect Bale to be like a Chicharito where he's going to come off the bench and score 10 goals. I do believe he's going to be part of the program. I think you can build teams have built teams around Bale and succeeded. So I think he still brings that. I mean, yes, he's older, but he doesn't have a lot of minutes on his legs. So
that's true.
Right. Yeah. His age might be older, but he is not. I mean, he doesn't have. Kane, I think, is more likely to break down than Bale is, in my opinion. Right?
That's
just
because
right, like Kane breaks on every season. So I see Bale as being somebody that once he's warmed up and if he can stay healthy, I see him being one of the first names on the team sheet because he's not just a super sub. I think he is a talent that needs to be now. What that means as far as his health and if his legs can hold up, if his hamstring can hold up, I think that's a whole different conversation. But I do fundamentally, I do agree with you though, right? Like Jose is a tactician. He is a chess player. He's going to play Bale when he needs him. He's not going to play Bale if he doesn't need him, and he'll play to get the most out of him, and he's going to play him to get the result. If result is a draw or
that's why I was saying, are we going to get Bale or are we going to get Beast Mode? Because Beast Mode, who you're talking about is about Beast Mode.
Yeah.
And I'm more so trying to get you to realize that we also still have Bale. So we basically just bought two players.
Yeah.
It's more so which player are we gonna get?
Yeah, no, but that's our fan base, right? There's people like me who are like, we're gonna win the fucking league, and then there's people like you who are like, I'm gonna get my ticket for championship because we're getting relegated. That's a difference.
Absolutely, and we are winning the league. That's why Kat and I don't watch in the same room when Tottenham plays, because he's like, why the fuck would you pass it backwards? What the fuck are you thinking? And I'm just like, yo, we need to have possession. Like, we need to possess the ball. Like, he had no other option. And she's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, if we're not trying to score, what the fuck are we doing?
I also play soccer, so I know I see certain things on the pitch that you could be doing. Yeah. And so it's very frustrating when I can see like open passes or just like clear opportunity for you to do something and you don't do it and you decide to pass it backwards.
This girl wants it.
That's the beauty of a sky cam, right? Like, you know, we'll like view down everything. Yeah, wouldn't it be nice if we all had eyes in the back of our head so we could see everything?
Yeah, right.
I also played violin, so it's just very hard to not expect anything but perfection.
So how did you end up with Scotty? Like, you have so much going for you. Why would you?
Oh man,
you just poached me in college.
I'm a salesperson.
That's true.
I'm a salesperson. Yeah, I'm a salesperson. Here's my question for you, Kat. Yeah, real quick, Andrew. My question for Kat: Would you prefer Lamella or Bale? And I'm as a soccer player, or maybe even as a husband.
I'll take them both. Who says I can't have them both?
I mean, the world we live in, man, it makes a lot of sense.
I'll take them both because they both offer different qualities. It's not like
She's going to try to answer this legitimately.
He has obviously never watched this.
He doesn't understand this podcast.
I mean, you can do legitimately or illegitimately, but like legitimately, I'll take them both, and illegitimately, I'll still take them both.
All right, so, there we go.
Fair answer.
Because they're both extremely sexy.
Yeah,
so.
you know, Kat seems like pretty composed. We should get some kind of a hot take out of her while we have her here. I don't even know if she's.
Yeah. What's your hot take?
Like your husband is a king of hot takes, so I'm just kind of curious to see if you have that in you somewhere.
Hot takes. I don't know. He has some ridiculous
shit.
He does have some ridiculous hot takes.
He does. Like they're not hot. They're almost like nuclear, right? Like you have to say.
I mean, the fact that he said that we were going to win the Premier League was just beyond me. You know?
That wasn't even close to the worst.
Yeah, I mean, but.
Who's gonna fucking win the league?
And he truly believes it. Like
I know that's the best part. Like he
entire.
I fucking guarantee that we will win the Premier League. Like
right.
I don't know how many times I have to say this on numerous podcasts.
I think we'll do a treble, but not the Premier League. We'll do 2 domestic cups and the league, and then
that's fucking hot. That's
I mean that's fine. Except the League Cup, I think we should try to win it just to get the monkey off our back. The FA Cup, Arsenal has proven to us like it does not fucking matter if you win that cup or not. Like
I feel like we still
your team
do
will
it
continue to tank if you win the FA Cup. It's fine.
They still hold it on us, like we won the FA Cup, and then we just take it from them, and still do like 3 more cups in one season.
Yeah, so
that will.
If we had any kind of editing ability or production value on this show, there'd be flames around you guys right now.
Yeah. We need to hire someone professional. But no one, I mean, like, I bet you we can even pay someone money to make this better, right? Like, I'm not going to associate with that crowd. Yeah,
I mean, it's bizarre to have a group of people who seemingly are high achievers fail so hard when doing a podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we may seem like we are just like absolute losers who do not have our lives together, but I feel like that's not the case. I don't know. Maybe it is, but that's not for me.
I have a job. Thank you very much.
So I've been holding on to this hot take for a little while. I think that this season we're gonna see a 2020 from Harry Kane, 20 goals, 20 assists in the Premier League. And I don't even know how hot this is, right? Like when I first
I believe that too, actually.
That's some real hot girl shit.
I mean, listen, man, he's got 3 goals and 6 assists already, right? So it's not like this is not absurd. And then I think he goes on to win the player of the season, right? So again, I don't think he gets the golden boot this year, but I think he's going to go ahead and win the player of the season because his game is fundamentally changing without sacrificing what we know him to be the most, which is a pure goal scorer. So I think that would be one of the greatest accomplishments in the history of the league. If you can have a guy like Harry Kane go 2020 in the league, win the player of the year, but then lose the golden boot, which I think is where we're heading. I
I don't think he was going to lose the golden boot, though. I thought he was going to do golden boot and still highest assists in the whole season.
No. I think there's just too many people scoring this year for what I mean. Like with the way penalties are being handed out, there are some players that are just going to have a tremendous advantage in goal scoring.
Or Sonny.
Dude, I was just going to say, Sonny could very well go and win the golden boot this year.
Yeah, and then Harry Kane with the highest assists.
Right. Yeah. I can. Yeah. I mean, right. So like Sonny, if he keeps scoring the way he is, he'll be in that conversation. But I mean, like, to be honest with you, I could realistically see Sonny score more goals than Kane this year.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think Sonny is actually in the conversation for golden boot.
Yeah, and like, here's the other part, right? When you bring in a guy like Bale, you will see Kane, who I do believe is a very unselfish player, contrary to whatever the fuck a lot of people say. I can see him dropping down and like feeding both these guys because
with those beautiful passes. Oh my gosh. Those passes are just like perfection. Yeah. Perfection.
Yeah, they come like every which way possible. Yeah. So I think Harry Kane is on his way to a 2020 season. I don't even know when the last time that happened. Has that ever happened before? I don't know. Somebody smart on our podcast looked that up. Or somebody listened. Oh my God. Hey, let's do this. Here's a test. Nobody's going to listen to this podcast, so we'll do it like this. If somebody's listening and you can figure out the last time a Premier League player had 20 goals, 20 assists, and you tweet us, I'll send you a $100 Visa gift card. There you go.
I'll match it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but nobody on here can do it. It's somebody actually who listens to this
shit. I know. That's true, but I'm saying I'll match it.
Woo! 200, baby.
Well,
look at us.
You will never financially recover from this.
I need to spend that $100 on jerseys, man. That's what
I thought you just spent it on tacos.
He would buy Pirates jerseys, which are not allowed in the house, which is a waste of money because they're not going to be in this house ever.
Well, I mean, this show got far too intellectual, far too quick, which is a scary.
Cat, you ruined
I don't even know how I'm going to try and edit this. So I don't. Mort, you got any closing thoughts?
You know, I will say a couple things, right? One, I will say this may have been the longest international break I've ever had as a fan. Like, it just felt like forever because, Andrew, we have something to look forward to, right? These are exciting times. And I think Kat hit it on the head. We have bought players for different reasons. Some people to have an impact on the pitch, some people to have an impact in the locker room, some people to have an impact off the bench, some people to, like impact a starter. So for me, this has been the longest international break ever because I am so fucking excited to watch us play. And I can't remember the last time I said that. And going back to what you said, I think we have this stretch coming up till early November where we have matches we should win every single match. There's no reason for us not to. And I think if we can do that, and then we go on the international break, then we come back and have that incredible window where we're going to have to play. Yeah, right. I think we play like City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Palace or something, right? And, like all in the go. If we go into that stretch having won everything, I think we've run that. I think we fucking run that gauntlet. And I think we're well on our way to having a remarkable season. So those are my closing thoughts, man. This break has been too long, but I'm so happy it's over because we need to go win some matches.
Special guest, Kat, any closing?
The trophy. But I mean, I get what you're saying, Mort. My kind of closing thing is, you know how Tottenham is, like over the Christmas period, it's always been just gravy. Sometimes we'll be playing just beautiful football. And the only time I felt a little weary about our Christmas time was last year, but we still got through it, So I hope this year, on top of everything that has been going on, we just close off really strong and have a great Christmas season, which I would love, Other than that, I still stand by us, going forward and getting us a couple of trophies this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, putting our name on something. How about you, Scott? Closing.
These two have just, again, taken things too seriously. I will close out by saying I apologize for the amount of clothing that I've worn in this episode.
Yeah, usually I would close the show on behalf of your shirt. You're actually wearing it.
Yeah, I have lots of clothes on right now. It does not feel comfortable for me.
Are you
I will
sick?
have a rash.
Right on. Well, I don't know how I can top any of that. I mean, that was something that was.
Well, I've been drinking
not many
again.
of us
You've
have
been drinking
imagined
again.
Preparation. So, on behalf of Kat, on behalf of Mort, on behalf of Scott, I'm Andrew. This has been the worst show you're going to watch on the internet today. This is the Chicken Ball Pod. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs!